In the spirit of 2023 and knowing your budgets are changing, I wanted to bring to you the best online platforms to teach for. So last week, if you missed it, I brought you the 5 best ESL platforms to teach for based off pay and bookings and teacher treatment. I've got it linked for you if you missed it. And today I want to bring to you the non-ESL platforms, the non-English as a second language platforms. So if you're not into teaching English, you don't have to stay put because I have 5 great ones for you. And then at the end, I have a freebie that will help match you to the best online teaching platform. All right, so let's get to it. Hey, I'm online teacher Allison, and I teach stay-at-home moms how to teach online so they can earn an income from home. So a lot of brand new online teachers don't want to teach ESL. They don't want to teach English, and that's fine. I chose not to go this route so much because I didn't like creating my own lessons. So you're going to see as I go through these 5 different companies that you're mainly going to be creating your own lessons. And that wasn't my jam. It's not that I couldn't do it or wouldn't do it. It was just, I didn't like it. I just wanted to wake up and sign on and be ready to teach. So I'm going to hit you with one has some drama in it. I will be sure to tell you. So our first one is Outschool. You've probably heard about this because it got really popular during the pandemic. It was actually founded in 2015 and their headquarters are in San Francisco. And they cater largely to homeschooling families. So homeschooling families can book semester classes or one-off classes or just short get-togethers, and it counts towards their homeschool credits. And so they were really big in that front. And then when the world shut down, everybody learned what online teaching and online learning was, and it blew up. And so they're pretty saturated now teacher-wise, and since kids have gone back to school, you're going to kind of see in spaces that teachers are frustrated because their bookings have decreased because kids have gone back to school. That's not to say that you can't get bookings. It's just I want you to make sure that you have a really great topic, a really niche topic that you do really well, that isn't there, that's in demand. It'll take some digging on your part because that's what's going to help you the best. So the more generic classes like story time, you can't even do story time because of copyright, but the more generic classes like circle time, like calendars and days of the week and morning meetings, those are already oversaturated and bogged down with a ton of classes. So you might want to avoid that. And then there's a lot of ESL teachers who decided they're going to create their own ESL lessons based off what they've learned on platforms. And so those are pretty saturated too. So, but back to Outschool. They are considered a marketplace. So I think of it as like a flea market or a swap meet where you go find someone you want to learn from and buy their classes from. So what's really great is you set your price per class, you set when you're going to teach, you set how long your class is going to be, the age you want to teach, like the range you want inside the class. And you also set the duration. So this is all you oriented, and you also create your lessons and your materials and your handouts. So it can be individual classes. Those typically go for more money per hour. I've talked about it before. It's usually $1 for every minute. Where group prices, you base it off the student, and it will be grouped. It will be a group pricing. It won't be one-on-one. So they only have students. So if you're into teaching adults online, then you wouldn't do this because they only have students aged 3 to 18. And the classes must be required from Outschool. And you are creating your classes. They do have to be approved. And while a degree isn't required, some subjects do require a degree or more education or knowledge in it, I guess you could say. So when it is going through the approval process, certain sensitive subjects, like I've seen puberty classes, but they really like it when it's taught by nurses. So they kind of have that thing, or like certain history topics I've seen, they've asked for degrees, and I can't remember what it is off the top of my head now. So there are some things that they will ask for more degrees, for a degree or more education on. It just really depends on what you're teaching. But there are plenty of things you can teach without having a formal degree or certificate in it. So don't let that deter you, okay? About once a month, I hear about teachers saying, oh my gosh, I don't know who is approving my class, but it's been so much harder than it has been in the past. Or on the other hand, teachers will say, hey, my class just got approved really quickly. I don't know who's doing it right now, but go ahead and get yours submitted. So there's not a lot of equity there. It really depends on who you get, and nobody knows. And another big con of Outschool is they take 30% of your earnings for overhead fees, call it commission. They take 30%. So you really want to think about that when you're pricing, because you want that money back. And it can be tricky because as you're a new teacher trying to get a following on the platform, you're probably pricing a little lower, but you don't want to price too low because an Outschool takes too much money, and then you have to think about taxes that you also have to take money out for. So that is something to think about as you're pricing, as you're considering the best platforms, because most of these do take a commission, and Outschool is one of the higher ones. Their cancellation, you can cancel within 24 hours, and the families are refunded. You can do it less. I've done it like less than that, but they really don't love it, and they will remove you from the platform if you abuse that, because you do ask teachers, you do ask families to buy supplies, and if they've bought supplies and you're canceling last minute, it doesn't look good on you or the platform. So, but there is no minimum amount of hours required to teach per week or per month. I haven't been on Outschool in forever, but if I wanted, there's probably just a few things I'd have to do to like re-up my profile, and I could start again. Number 2 is Preply. Preply is one of the older companies. It was founded in 2012 in Ukraine, and they now have several offices. One of them is in Massachusetts. That is their United States office. They are also a marketplace. Unlike Outschool, they teach children and adults, but mostly adults. So again, I've got my notes over here. So again, you set your price, you create your own classes and your materials, you set your class times. It can be individual, but it's mostly groups. And let's get to what you want. Commission. Do they take a commission? Yes, theirs is actually the highest on the list, but don't tune out yet because there is a but here. Theirs is the highest on the list at 33%, but it decreases to 18% the more classes you teach. So that's a really good plus, is that that's actually on the lower side if you plan on teaching there for a while. I don't know what the more classes you teach is. I don't know what that looks like to them. I was not able to find it. But if you do plan on being consistent on this platform, it might be worth it. But another big con here is you have to teach free trial classes. So to my understanding, they don't have like a set trial class. The trial class is just they decide they want to take your class and you don't get paid for it. It's 100% commission, and that sucks. Sorry, it just does. So that is a big con on their side, is that there is no minimum hours required, but if you want to cancel, you can do it within 4 hours. That's what's also really great. There is a no degree required, so you can teach whatever you want. Number 3, Allschool. Allschool is a Singapore-based company that is a baby. It was launched in 2021, but don't let that deter you because it seems they're rocking and rolling. They won the 2022 SBR Business Award for Education, so they're rocking and rolling. They have children aged 3 to 18, so no adults here, but no degree or ESL certificate is required. It is preferred, but it's not going to hinder you. Classes, again, are one-on-one or group classes. You create your own classes, but they have to be approved by Outschool. So same thing with Outschool and Allschool. So that's the same thing between those two, is their classes have to be approved by the company before you can teach them. So commission for Allschool, they have 2 different ones. So if your class is taught on ClassPod, I'll get to that in a minute, they take a 10% cut. But if it's taught on Zoom, they take 15%. I had never heard of ClassPod before. It looks like it looks like Zoom with like a virtual whiteboard. That was actually pretty cool. And it's a free download for teachers and students, and it's available everywhere. Windows, Apple, and Android. Not sponsored or anything, just letting you know, okay? So they do have recommended peak times, and they are for Singapore hours. So for the US teachers, that would be from 6 a.m. to 10 a.m. Eastern time. There's no minimum availability per week. Again, this is what's really great about marketplaces, is you have a little more freedom there. It just might be harder to get bookings. All right, Varsity Tutor, here is where the tea and the drama is, and I will get there in a second. They were founded in 2007, and they're based in St. Louis. They are really old. They like predate online learning almost. I know not entirely, but they predate the big 2020. So they're based in St. Louis. They have both children and adults, and they're actually really unique because they offer both in-person and online tutoring, and they match you with a tutor. So this is where it's weird because me as the tutor, I would create my class and my materials and everything, but Allschool would match me with the student. So that was what was really weird about that I had never seen in a marketplace before. So, but when I create my lessons, it's not a free-for-all like most of these are. I kind of have to pick from a predetermined list that Allschool has that they push out to their students. And it's pretty basic. Like I saw coding in there, I saw math and science, and there's more, way more. That was just what I saw as I was scrolling. So, your pay varies from $15 to $30 per hour, and it depends on a lot of things. Just some of them are whether you're in person or you're online, the duration of the class, the demand of the subject, any experience you have in the subject. But oh my gosh, the classes are long. I've not seen classes as long as this. So they have classes from 45 minutes, 60 minutes. I've done those. Those are pretty common. 90 minutes to as much as 2 hours. 2 hours is outrageous in my brain, but if you think about pay. So here's the tea. Here's the drama. They have come under a lot of heat because of the profit margin they make compared to what they pay their teachers. So Allschool charges their online learners, not even that, Allschool charges their learners $95 an hour. That is just bonkers to me. But tutors, online teachers, get paid an average of $15. Remember I said it varied between $15 to $30, so let's just call that the average. So they've come under a lot of heat for that. People are calling it a scam. It's not technically a scam because you're still getting paid, but it doesn't look good, right? And a diploma is required on Varsity Tutors as well. But they do make exceptions if you are enrolled in a 4-year program of that subject that's in high demand. So math, science, coding. They'll make an exception for you if you're enrolled in that program. And finally, Superprof, like short for professor, Superprof. This one is both children and adults, and it is actually one of the most popular teacher marketplaces out there. I've heard about this before. I started the application process years and years and years ago, and I never did anything with it. So they're also unique in that they have in-person and online options, and their pay is unique too. So as the online teacher, you set your own pay, when you work, what you teach. So Superprof takes a 10% commission, which is really good. It's really low, but it actually gets better. Apparently, a lot of tutors kind of work around the system where they get paid directly by the family, and so they completely avoid that commission by Superprof, and they get to keep 100% of their pay. So I'm not quite sure how that works because I'm not super well versed in Superprof. This is just what I found online while I was perusing. But they do have a lot of tutors. They have a lot of teachers. They're super popular, and they're legit. So if that's what you're worried about, I promise they're legit. All right. So I promised you a free download to help match you with the best marketplace or ESL platform, if you choose, to you and your skill set and what you have and desire. It's completely free. It is one page. It's a PDF download. You can grab your copy at onlineteacherallison.com/platform, and you can get started applying today. Remember, not all of them are always applying. These are marketplaces, so you are more likely to be able to get hired right away. But you think about that too with the saturation. They're not always hiring. They take these things into account. It is, you do get hired on these quicker than you do the ESL world, but it does come with its own pros and cons. So I hope you found a match for you. If not, there's tons of other companies out there. These were just ones that I felt were really good. The pay was pretty fair. They have bookings, that kind of thing. So I hope you're having the greatest week ever. I hope you're having a great new year, and we will chat soon. Bye.